Hello, honey. This is Juhi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I will be talking about 18 life lessons I learned by the time I was 18, and I make mistakes so that you guys don't have to. Let's get right into it. Now, let's begin with our first life lesson, which is never humiliate your parents or siblings in front of others. Now, in that moment, it does not matter whether they are right or wrong. You do not disrespect them. And I do not care who is watching, be it your grandparents, relatives, cousins, anyone. You do not disrespect your own blood in front of anyone who is outside of that circle. That's it. Baat khatam. Because here's the thing, the world does not love you like the way your family does. Your family has literally seen you at your worst. They've seen you, they've protected you, they've covered for you, they've lied for you, they've stood up for you when nobody else did. So even if they say something that is really embarrassing to you or it makes you very angry, you do not confront them in front of everybody. You do it privately. You don't get to throw them under the bus just to earn those mature points. Because people will judge you and your family based on your behavior. So if the respect is gone once, it is gone forever. So protect their dignity the way you would want yours protected. So moving on to our second advice, it says that you will meet many temporary people in the ages between 16 to 24, and 9 out of 10 people you meet in this age range would not be in your life after 5 years. My advice would be to never beg anyone to stay in your life, because if they really want to leave, they will leave. If they want to leave, we will let them leave. Your efforts to make them stay are useless anyway, because do you really think you want or need a person in your life that you literally had to beg to stay? Like, just think about it. Nobody is that important. Nobody. And it's never that deep that you have to beg someone to be in your life. Like, that's shameful. That's literally shameful to yourself, because it's literally not worth it, because nobody is that important. Just get over them. It's not that fucking hard. So, moving on to our third lesson, which is nobody ever fully cares about you. Now, when you think about it, there might be people who care about you a little, for example, your friends, and there might be people who care about you a lot, for example, your parents and siblings. But there is nobody who is going to live your life for you, and so there is nobody who fully cares about you. Now, let's understand this with an example. Let's say that you and your friend are preparing for a competitive exam, and it is for both of you guys' dream colleges, all right? And you crack the exam whilst your friend does not. So you get to go to your dream college, but your friend does not. So the thing is that yes, you will feel bad for him or her, and you will care about him or her, but regardless of the fact that they are coming or not, you will still go to your dream college, right? So you won't just sit there in your hometown with them in their college, right? You would leave. And that's what happens most of the time. Now, same thing would have happened if your friend got selected and not you. He would have left and you would have stayed. So that's the thing. Nobody is living your life for you. Yes, they can feel bad for you. Yes, they might care for you, but they would leave. So basically, the learning here is that if you do not wake up and care about yourself and bettering your life and working towards your goals, then you are simply just not going to make it. So you have to wake up and care. So, our fourth lesson is what you avoid becomes your limit. And for this one, I want you to think of an example from your life. So, I need you to think of something that you are not interested in, and it can be of any field. For me, it is cricket, for example. I was never really interested in cricket, and I very much thought that it was not my thing, so I never bothered learning anything about it. Okay, so now I want you to imagine that I am sitting in an interview and the interviewer asks me something about cricket, maybe something which is trending or maybe something which is relevant to cricket, and I'm sitting there completely blank because I chose to ignore something that is such a big part of India's culture. Like cricket is a festival. It's not a sport in India. It's literally a festival and I chose to ignore it. So now I'm literally blank with no answers sitting in front of my interviewer. Now I'm not at all saying that I should have memorized every player's name or I should have watched every match there is to watch, but I'm just saying that I could have known the basics. That moment is the very moment that you realize that just because you are not interested in something does not mean it has zero value. I'm not saying that you have to love it, but being a little aware gives you an advantage. Now let's move on to the fifth advice, which is never tell your plans to people, keep that mouth shut. Because the more you talk about your plans, the less energy you have to actually go ahead and do them. So, my advice would be to move in silence because not everybody needs to know what you're working on, what you're dreaming of, and what your next move is. When you share your goals too early, you open the doors for others' opinions, others' advices, others' doubts. And oftentimes, what happens is they would project their limitations onto you. What does this mean? That if they think that they are not capable of doing something, they would literally compare themselves to you in their own mind and they would tell you that, oh, this is very easy or this is very hard. And trust me, you do not need that advice at that moment because most of the time the advice is coming from someone who might not have the same vision as you or the same mindset as you, and many a times they might even be jealous of you. So they might not see what you see, they do not understand what is driving you, and hearing this thing one day after another would literally affect your mindset and would literally affect your productivity. So just do not tell your goals or share them so early on. So let's take an example for this, right? If you tell them that you want to crack an exam to get into your dream college or whatever, and the next time you meet them and they are subtly, trying to include that exam in that conversation you're having with them, and they are trying to tell you how difficult that exam is and how impossible it is to crack it, and slowly and gradually start making jokes about it, and then you know that you did a very big mistake by telling them about the exam, because now they are literally cracking jokes about your dream, about your aim, about your goal. Now the question is, do you really want your dreams to become casual jokes in conversations which people could just crack, laugh and leave? Like seriously, do you want that for yourself? Ask yourself that. And you should dream so big and you should aim so high that even the thought of telling small minded people makes you feel uncomfortable. And honestly, you should let your actions speak. Let your results be the announcement. Because when you show them with proof instead of promises, now you do not need their validation anymore. Because you've literally won. Now you do not need anyone's opinions. And now it's time for the sixth lesson of our day, which is sometimes it's time to let go of that one bro who is not leveling up with you. Now, you need to understand this one thing, that none of this is about cutting people for no reason or thinking that you are better than any one of them. And it's simply about realizing that you and your friend are no longer on the same path anymore and it is time to part ways. Now, you might love your friend a lot and you might care about him or her a lot. I'm not saying you don't. You guys would have made so many memories together and you guys would have so many inside jokes, so many late night talks, whatever. Now imagine this, you and your friend are just coexisting for now. No major goals, no direction, just vibing and chilling. That's it. But then suddenly, one day, you decide that you want more. Maybe it's achieving your dream body. Maybe it's getting into your dream college. Maybe it is cracking a life changing exam. Maybe it is starting a YouTube channel. And now, while you start chasing that, your friend does not. And he stays where he has always been, which is fine. It is his choice. But now the gap begins because you start watching your diet, you stop going to cafes, but because he still goes, he invites you. And let's say you go with him, but you sit there sipping water while he digs into his fries. And this works for a while. But what if your goal was not related to food, but focus? Like preparing for that tough exam? And now one day he calls you to catch a movie, but you have a test the very next day. And now it's a choice, your friend or your future. If you choose your future, your friend might start feeling that you are changing. And if you choose your friend, you are toying around with your future. And now that's the sad reality. Not everyone can come with you on your journey. Just because you have different paths does not mean you guys have started hating each other or that you do not care about each other. Now it just means that you guys have different priorities in life. And if your friend truly supports you and has basic emotional intelligence, they will understand. And if not, maybe they were only meant to be a part of your journey for a while, not forever. Now, moving on to the seventh life lesson of our day, which is surround yourself with the right people. Now, I always say this one thing that the people around you always shape your mind and thoughts. And the thing is that this is because the things around you start becoming normal to you. So, if you want to build a good body, hang out with people who already are behind that goal. And it's really that simple. You rise with your circle, so choose it wisely. Now, moving on to the eighth lesson, which is everything in life is going to be hard. Let's understand this with some examples. See, being obese is hard. People judge you, people make fun of you, you are literally unhealthy, and you are tired all the time. But so is being fit. You have to go to gym, you have to be on a diet, you have to be disciplined, you have to say no to junk every day. Starting your own business is hard. There is risk, there is long hours, there's stress, there's so much of it. But so is working a 9 to 5. There's less freedom, there's a routine life, and there is so much pressure from your boss. Now you need to choose your heart. Now, being a topper is also hard. You need to be focused, you need to make a lot of sacrifices, and you need to study a lot. But so is being a failure because there's missed opportunities, there's regret, there's self doubt, and you still need to choose your heart. So choose wisely. Now, what you have to do is pick the one that takes you closer to the life you want, not the one which is more comfortable for today. Now, moving on to the ninth lesson, which is when your parents and friends push you to do better, it's not an attack, it's an act of love. Now, sometimes when your parents or your close friends tell you to stop wasting your time and to start studying more or to do something with your life, they are not trying to nag you or trying to make you feel small. It's not like that. It's nothing like that. Because most of the time they are really worried for you. And it's not hate, it's not judgment, it's just pure concern. But now, here is something to think about. If it is your dream, if it is your aim, and you really wanted to do it and you chose it yourself, then why do you need someone to always be there to push you? And why should they have to mother you all the time? That too for your own dreams. And it only makes sense. It's your life, your goals. You should be the one who is making all the efforts, right? Because the truth is, if they really saw you putting in your efforts and trying your 100% each time, every day, they would not interrupt. Like literally, nobody would interrupt you. And they would simply just not say a word to you because then they would trust you that you have got it all under your control. Just simply build that trust and that nagging will go away. I promise it will go away as soon as they see changes in you. So the next time they try to push you, ask yourself, am I really showing up for my dreams like I should? If your answer is yes, you won't need to explain anything. If your answer is no, then maybe they are just giving you the reminder you needed. And that was part 1 of 18 lessons I learned by the time I turned 18. These were just the first 9, and trust me, the next 9 are just as real, just as honest, and maybe even more personal. So if this video made you pause and reflect, do not miss part 2. I promise it completes the picture. See you guys later. Till then, goodbye.